Welcome to Lofty Pursuits and Public Displays of Confection here in Tallahassee, Florida. We're going to make some candy fish today.
The Babel fish is small, yellow, leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe.
We're using one of the first pieces of equipment we acquired and one of our oldest, a drop roller by a gentleman named James Gardner. James Gardner, sometime around 1859, gave the firms to his stepson, Thomas Mills, and the name of the business changed.
It feeds on brainwave energy, absorbing all unconscious frequencies and then excreting telepathically a matrix formed from the conscious frequencies and nerve signals picked up from the speech centers of the brain.
This drop roller has an advantage. It has long fences, which lets us use just a portion of the roller if we wanted to. When these were made, these rollers were very expensive. And with these gates, a candy maker could get one roller with two different designs on it. As we get our safety equipment ready, we remember Douglas Adams, and on May 25th is Towel Day, the celebration of Douglas Adams, the creator and writer of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
The practical upshot of which is that if you stick one in your ear, you instantly understand anything said to you in any form of language. The speech you hear decodes the brainwave matrix.
If you were in Lofty Pursuits right now, you could smell the pina colada coming off the sugar as it's poured. The sugar's over 300 degrees Fahrenheit and is being poured into a candy cooling table that, from our other videos, we discovered was made in 1891. The fish are going to be small and yellow, and to do this we're going to have to add yellow food coloring, and as we add it to the very hot sugar, all the water starts boiling off, creating a small cloud of steam and leaving the color behind. We want this because if any water is left, the candy will become sticky. The candy is now cooled down enough that we can add the citric acid. We add citric acid to add that sort of acid bite that all fruits have. And of course, pina colada has pineapple in it, and we want the pineapple to make you salivate a little. So we rebalance the acid. The acid burns at a fairly low temperature, so we have to add it a little late in the game. The candy table has done its job. And we have to get the candy temperature to be even across the board, and at the moment the bits that we're touching the metal are quite cool, and the center liquid parts are still probably over 300 degrees. We fold it together and work the temperature to be a standard and even temperature. When I was a kid, I went to a summer camp, and almost all the counselors for some reason came from Great Britain. And one of them brought over a copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy before it was released in the US. Well, shortly after that, I returned to Brooklyn, and I read that in Manhattan at a great science fiction store called Forbidden Planet, Douglas Adams was going to be signing autographs. Apparently, very few people in the United States knew who he was at that point. And Douglas Adams himself wasn't used to being a celebrity. Only 12 of us showed up, and he was kind of confused. Here was a scriptwriter for the BBC being surrounded by people who were obviously his fans. I wore a t-shirt that said, "Thursday is God's curse to the earth." He seemed amused by that. He told stories and he bought us pizza. And in the meantime, I got his book autographed. I saw him several other times at the same store for autograph sessions, but we never got to talk again because the crowds by that point were huge. If you're ever in Tallahassee, you should come by and visit Lofty Pursuits. And if you can't come here in person, you can always buy our candy at www.pd.net. But this video is being made for Towel Day 2016, and on Towel Day we tend to do better and more interesting things. Bring in a towel and be a hoopy frood, we'll give you a discount on ice cream. Come at 8 p.m. on Towel Day, and we're going to have a Vogon Poetry Slam with prizes going to the writers of the worst poetry by our standards and none other. Oh, the judging is terrible. But online, we're going to do something special this year. We're going to do an online version of our bad poetry contest. Read the copy and the little blurb that goes with this video, and you'll see the rules, how to enter, and you might be able to win some free candy. And as a candy maker, the serendipity of this batch was perfect. It made precisely 42 bags. And now for the most fun part. This is a fruit drop roller, this device. And we're going to show you why fruit drops are called fruit drops, lemon drops are called lemon drops. We just pick the candy up and we drop it and it breaks into individual pieces. If you like this video, you can get this candy while it lasts at www.pd.net. Candy for Geeks is what we're known about here at Lofty Pursuits. And if you want to, come and visit us in Tallahassee if you ever come through. Subscribe to us here on YouTube. We're at over 50,000 subscribers at this point, and we'll get a cool little plaque from YouTube if we hit 100,000. And I'll bet you we'll make a YouTube candy at that point. Also, follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our email list at our website, www.pd.net. We appreciate you watching this video, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it.
Meanwhile, the poor Babelfish, by effectively removing all barriers to communications between different cultures and races, has caused more and bloodier wars than anything else in the history of creation.